All right, here we go. We're standing here with Ian. Ian's the resident line pump operator, expert line pump operator. How long have you been running pump now, Ian?
It's been 6 years. 6
years now with us. And how old are you?
32.
32. So you started when you were 25, 26.
Yeah.
What got you into it?
Good money.
The money. So it always gets them, and it keeps them here too. It ropes them in. So here's the big questions. Are you ready? This is all off the cuff. We didn't rehearse any of this. Ian's a little bit nervous. Okay, the first one's easy. What's your favorite part about running pump?
Pumping.
You actually enjoy the job. What's your favorite?
I do.
Yeah, but like detail, like the day goes by quick, working with other people.
That's my favorite part. See, this is why I wish it was.
It's okay, man. We'll edit it. We'll edit it. Your favorite part about pumping?
Okay, well, how about when we're blowing out a ton of line?
Yeah.
And then when I tell you to cut the air and bleed the air,
yeah,
and it just poops right out.
Oh, and you nail it and it's perfect.
Yeah.
I like that. See, there we go.
And when there's not much pile left.
Okay, okay. So
like a perfect amount.
The perfect blowout, a job well done, the perfect pour.
Yeah.
Something every pump operator strives for. See, that's how you know that somebody's got it in their blood.
Thing with AJ's.
It's an every. Oh, there's the promotion. Okay, now here's the next question, and you can be totally honest. What's your least favorite part about pumping?
Plugs. Plugs. And
but least favorite part about the job. What's the toughest part about the job?
Yeah,
the plugs. The plugs?
Well, when you can't find it, say it's in the line, it's not in the reducer.
From the career aspect of it, though, the hours. What do you think?
The hours. That's why I'm.
We're trying to be honest here, so we can weed out, or you know, we'll be real with people, so they can make a decision if it's something they want to get into or not.
Well, okay. Being the line pump operator, I got a good work-life balance. So what, 40-50 hours average on this guy?
Yeah.
Versus what, 16 hours a day, 14 hours a day on those.
This is true.
If you really like money, get on the boom.
Yeah, this is true. But this is where you want to start. This is where you want to learn.
I trained you. I trained probably like 30 guys already.
It's true. Ian's trained a lot of guys. Ian will train you. He's, like I said, he's the resident expert. And I mean that. Okay, last question. Let me think about what the last question is. I'm going to draw a blank here. Okay, here's the last question. Any advice you would give somebody who wants to get into this as a career? What is the best advice? What's going to help them? What's going to hurt them? What do they need to know? Something that you maybe didn't know when you first got into it. What should they know? What should they be prepared for?
Be prepared for long days. Don't set a date. Like if you have a date, don't set it if you know you're working, because it could be 10 hours, it could be 12 hours, it could be 14 hours. You never know. That's the best advice, actually. So I have my dates on Sunday when I was single.
When he was single. He's off the market now. Yeah. So I agree with that. That's very true. That's probably the biggest challenge for guys getting into this is the hours. Just the, you know, it can be busy in the summer, slower in the winter. You know, luckily in Vancouver here, our winters don't get too rough. So it's definitely more consistent, I think, than other more seasonal climates. But yeah, definitely the hours of the adjustment. But the beauty of the long hours, what's the beauty of the long hours?
It goes by fast.
And?
Money.
The money. OT and double time.
And you gotta hustle. We don't like slow people.
Yeah, you gotta hustle. That's true. You gotta hustle and you gotta have customer service skills. So,
yes.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Now I'm gonna go wash my truck.
There we go. And just a little overview here. The truck that Ian runs, this is kind of like where most guys would start out on. This is just a regular class 3 driver's license. No air brake, CDL, none of that required. Just basic automatic transmission. Nothing too crazy, nothing too intimidating. This is a very good example of the starting point for a concrete pumper wanting to get in the trade and start out their career. Start here, spend a year or two here, and gradually work your way up to something like that, something like that, and eventually something like that, the big boys. But you got to start somewhere. So, and some guys actually prefer the smaller stuff, as Ian had touched on there earlier. So anyhow, we'll carry this on. We'll talk to a couple more guys. I might post this all in one video or just do some quick short individual videos. I'm not really sure the format yet, but that is yeah, that is our first operator, Ian. Line pump extraordinaire. All right, here we go. Big stick operator, Cory. Even though his coveralls say Sid, it's really Cory. So Cory, how long have you been running pump for now?
I think 18 years.
18 years. And what were you doing before?
Driving off-road dump trucks, so Volvo 835s.
Oh yeah, and you started this when you were how old? What age?
Geez, I don't know, maybe 20, 22, 21 or something like that.
Wow, I remember just like yesterday when you pulled up in the yard with your brand new Terminator Mustang Cobra. Fresh off the lease. Or on the lease, we should say. So what's, tell us, what's your favorite part about running pump? Actually, before that, what got you into it? What brought you into it? What interested you in it?
You should know this. Nothing really. I basically ran into your brother at the gas station with no intentions of running concrete pumps. I just saw Tony with a brand new 47 meter, and I recognized him from the gym. And then at the time I was looking for a job, and next thing you know, I had a resume in my car, gave him my resume, put me on the crew, the placing crew, and placed for a month. And then they asked me if I wanted to try running a pump, and ran a pump,
and the rest is history.
That was it. Yeah. So now it's 18 years later.
And what made you stick with it 18 years later? You can be honest.
What made me stick with it? Yeah, you just make good money, good hours. Good money, good hours. The company I worked for, you guys, was a good company, good people. Used to party on the weekends all the time.
Yeah, that was a while ago. We don't do that anymore. We try to now, but it kind of fizzles out by about 11 p.m. What's your most favorite one thing about pumping?
Favorite one thing
about pumping, about the career, the job description itself, the best part about it.
The best part about it? The best part about it, I think, is that it gives me enough money to do what I need to do on the weekends. Really.
Which is like dirt bikes, toys, jacked up trucks.
Yeah.
What you need to do.
Yeah, what I need to do.
Okay, now
to support my family.
There we go. That's that's a politically correct
family.
answer. And buy lots of toys.
Yeah,
that too.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, realistically, both of those things. Okay, honest answer, full disclosure. What's the worst part about pumping? The worst part.
About working Saturdays.
Working Saturdays. That ain't so bad.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, Saturdays he's usually making overtime or double time, and it's still the worst part. So it could be worse. It could definitely be worse.
There's no. I think the worst part is when you're. For me now that you're. I remember when I first started. It's a lot of responsibility. So I remember every day I would have like anxiety. I'd be like, holy fuck, I gotta run this machine.
Yeah, you get used to it though, and it gets comfortable, and you kind of get in the groove, right?
Now it's kind of smooth sailing. So don't think there really is a worst part.
Best advice for a young guy or gal who wanted to get into this as a career, as a trade. Best one piece of advice that you could think of.
Oh, gee.
I know it's a very deep question. We're getting deep here.
Because you're getting up early and saying, go to bed early, get some sleep, and have a very large coffee in the morning. That's what I'm thinking.
There you go. And yeah, no, I think you nailed it. Actually, I was going to try and add on to that, but no, I think you really nailed it. Okay, well, any final thoughts? All right, here we go. The man of the hour, Big Mike on the big stick. Mike, how long have you been running pump now?
8 years.
8 years. And he's been on the big pump here for probably 5 of those?
At least, yeah.
Mike was a very quick learner, a good example of the extreme case of progression in this industry. Picked it up real fast, and the rest is history. How old were you when you started?
21.
21. What were you doing before?
School, full-time.
Full-time student. And how'd you get into this? How'd you get roped into this?
A friend of mine knew you, and then, yeah, the rest is history.
The rest is history. What did you like about it? What is it about that made you stick around? Full disclosure.
I like pumping. I like the you and the machine. I like that. fact that every day is something different. I like that. There's nothing ordinary about the job. You're always having to be on your toes.
Makes the day go by quicker, right? Yeah, if you've got a good
Money's not bad either.
proactive personality like that, this is a good line of work for you. Mike likes the bigger pump. A lot of guys like the smaller pumps, to each their own. There's a place for everybody. So what don't you like about the job? What's the worst part about the job?
Waiting on balances like we are right now.
Yeah, there you go. What do you think would be the hardest part about the job for somebody who's not accustomed to this industry?
The hours. The hours, but that would be the toughest adjustment. It's not a 9 to 5. It's not a 8 to 4 job, right? So I think hours, adjusting to the hours is going to be the biggest thing.
The last question, Michael. If you could give one piece of advice to somebody who is looking at running a pump as a career, pumping concrete as a career, one piece of advice to help them in their potential future career, what would that advice be?
Don't spend all the money you make. Save it.
Ah,
Save it.
very, very wise.
Property.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're going to make lots of money. There's going to be lots of downtime. Save your money.
Yeah, in this industry, there's a lot of easy come, easy go with regards to money. But if you're good with your shekels, Mike is, how old are you now?
30.
30 years old, owns a home, at least one that we know of, probably more. Wise young man, very responsible. And here he is. Right on, over and out. All right, here we are with Dan. Dan's been featured in several of my videos. Dan, how long have you been running pump?
About 20 years.
Now here's a personal question. You may or may not be comfortable with this one. How old are you?
Just old enough. About 50.
So you started when you were almost 30.
Yeah.
What did you do before you were pumping concrete?
For concrete, I was working in technical operations for one of the major airlines.
And what prompted the change to concrete pumping?
Technical operations, for the most part, is all night shift. This is when the planes aren't flying full of passengers all day.
So what roped you into concrete pumping full time? E.g., what do you like about it?
I like the variety that comes with it. I find that I have a good personality for it. I don't get, I can handle a lot of different situations without getting too crazy flustered like some people.
That's a key point to successful pump operator, how you operate under pressure, right?
So,
makes or breaks guys.
It just suits me.
Now here's the honest question, honest answer, hit me with it. What's your least favorite thing about running pump?
It varies on different days, because if you have plans and you want to do something, something's always going to happen and mess up your plans. So that part bugs me.
It's a fair, honest answer.
As far as just on the job, it's when people don't do what needs to be done to have the job go smoothly.
Very fair answers, very relevant, that I would say. And my final question for you, and I'm probably gonna have to edit here because I forgot what it was. My final question was, oh, here it is. I remember now. For somebody looking to get into this as a career, if you could give them one piece of advice that may help them in their career have as much success as possible, what would you tell them?
I would say just enjoy life. Don't get worked up over everything, because nothing's ever going to go perfect. So just enjoy life, do your best, be attentive, and that's about it.
It's darn good advice indeed. And I will say, no fluff. If there's 300 pump operators in the Lower Mainland in our area, and I could only pick 6 guys, I had my 6 guys to choose from, Dan would definitely be in the top 6, if not the top 3. Maybe even the top 2. Just behind this guy right here.
Yeah,
No, I would actually pick Dan over me, no BS. He's got a better personality for it. I'm a bit of a hothead. You just don't see it on camera.
That's right.
Anyhow, excellent. Now we're gonna take a little walk around the pump here. That'll be a different video though. So that's 4 operators, 4 good pump operators, all of different age categories, different genres of work and whatnot. Should give a pretty good idea as to the general overview of the job. So this will be the second video And then part 3 will be coming up shortly after. That'll be the fun one. We're going to talk about how much money can a pump operator make. Very loaded topic, so that'll be a good one. Anyhow, like, share, subscribe. Times 3. All right, what's going on? So we've interviewed all these other guys, and I neglected to think to maybe tell my story. So here it is. So I've been pumping now, as of this November, I think it'll be 24 years, I believe. Before this, I was going to school for auto mechanics, and then I had a job at a dealership where I was working towards earning an apprenticeship there. Kind of dragged on a little bit. I was working for minimum wage, which is $8 an hour at the time. My old man and my uncle, they'd always had a couple placing crews, mostly residential work, and they always kept 2 or 3 pumps to service their own work. They were shorthanded, needed help in the shop, so I kind of got hired on with them as a mechanic. Did that for about a year. Until the guy who was running the little line pump at the time, and I'll insert a picture of that little line pump right here. He moved on to other things. They needed somebody to run that pump. Reluctantly, I went out on it, gave it a try. Obviously, it was different, and it took me a while to warm up to it, but I eventually ended up really liking it. Moved on up to the boom pumps. Eventually, 2010-ish, I believe, my old man and uncle retired, and we had the opportunity to purchase the company, which we did. And here we are today, and here I am still doing it. What I enjoy about it, what I really enjoy, I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy working with a good group of people, working on you know, some intricate projects, and you know, just the success of when a job goes well. And it feels good at the end of the day. You come home and you feel some accomplishment. I'm one of those sick and twisted people that actually enjoys doing 500-foot line jobs. Jobs with this guy, my favorite pump in the world, the 38.5 puts. Sneaking this thing under the trees into tight spots. I enjoy that. I enjoy the challenge of that. Rolling up to a job site, scratching your head for a couple minutes, and then getting the job done and getting it done safely. That's kind of my bread and butter, my favorite thing. What I don't like about it would probably be the opposite of what I do like about it. Going to a job site where maybe things aren't quite so organized, the quality of work being put out might not be something you could feel proud of yourself. Things like that. Fortunately, we work with mostly the same contractors, do a lot of our own work, so we're working with good people, and those days are fewer and further between than they used to be back in the old days when we were in our growth phase, kind of taking on anything and everything. What's the next question here? I forgot. I'm really good at asking the questions to the guys, but I forget when I got to ask them to myself. The other thing that I like about it, money. When I was in my early 20s, when I got into this, busy market, work as many hours as you want, kind of similar to what it is today. I was making way more dough than I would have doing pretty much anything else at that age, and making more money than most of my friends were at that age. So I really enjoyed that part of it. Advice that I would give to somebody getting into this job: get into it young. If you can, start young. Definitely start on a line pump. Do not be in a hurry to get onto a boom pump. The most valuable experience you'll gain will be on the line pump. That's where you're going to learn about concrete without it biting you in the rear end too hard when things go a little bit sideways. So definitely get your time in on the line pump. Don't be in a rush. And the other thing is, save your money. When you're young, you get in this early, you're going to make really good money for your age. You don't want to be my age in your mid 40s and still having to pound out 70 or 80 hours a week, not by choice. It's nice to be able to do that because you enjoy it, but I would not recommend being in that situation because you're forced to. So definitely save your money, invest wisely when you're young, buy a house when you're young, buy a home when you're young. Then when you get older, you can kind of, dare I say, just do it for fun. But yeah, I think those would be my biggest pieces of advice that I could give to somebody looking to get into this. And yeah, it's 100% not a 9-to-5 job. It's basically going to be as difficult as you want to make it. If you put a lot of forethought into things, plan ahead, you're going to have a lot less bad days than if you're reactive rather than proactive. So, and a lot of that just comes with time and experience. But yeah, it can be a great job. I really do enjoy it. I no BS. If I won the lottery tomorrow, I would still do this 3.5 days a week just to get out. I like it that much. So anyhow, that is my story 24 years later, and hopefully another 24 years to go. So over and out. All right, so following this video, this is the second video in my series here, second of 3. Probably next week at the latest, maybe the following week, we're gonna do the fun one where we talk about wages and whatnot. How much does or how much can a pump operator make? We'll go through a couple of different scenarios. We'll come up with what I think is some pretty accurate numbers from what I've seen over the years of doing this for what people can actually make. Yeah, and I think it'll make for some pretty good discussion in the comments and whatnot. But I think I've got some pretty good real world numbers. We'll talk about it. We'll post it up. We'll dissect it a little bit. It's going to be great. You're going to like it, I hope. Anyhow, hopefully we'll see you on that one a week or 2 after this. Like I said, over and out.